Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Bo's Slow English. In today's episode, I'm going to interview my friend Stephanie, or Steph. She is Australian. She has a YouTube channel called Aussie English with Steph. And in today's video, you will hear two different accents. Obviously, I'm the American one, so you'll hear an American accent, and then you will hear her Australian accent. Before we get started, please click like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And here we go. I'm welcoming my friend Steph. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for joining. The holidays are coming to an end, and I'd love to know, what did you do to celebrate the holiday, and what is typical in Australia during this time?
That is an excellent question, Bo. In Australia at Christmas time, it's hot. It's very hot. Depending on where you live, it might be 35 degrees Celsius. It might be 40 degrees Celsius. So it's interesting because some of our Christmas traditions are actually based on, I would say, more British English traditions. And so some things that we do kind of don't make sense. So we will have, at least in my household, we have a hot lunch, and the hot lunch is a roast lunch. Sometimes we have chicken, we might have beef, it depends. Some people have pork, or some people will also have a barbecue lunch, and they might have, we call them prawns. I think you would call them shrimp. So, and salads and different things. So often people get together for Christmas lunch, and then we swim in the afternoon quite often because it's hot. And usually if we open up Christmas presents, that'll be on Christmas morning.
When you say roast, do you mean putting meat in an oven?
Yes, so you can roast the meat in the oven. Some people will also roast the meat on a barbecue outside, and it depends. Different people will have different traditions, but also roast vegetables and gravy. And I love a roast lunch. I think it's absolutely delicious. It's one of my favorite meals to have. If people invite you around for a barbecue, we would say a barbie.
So when you said Barbie, you said Bobby, right?
Barbie. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a list of a few words that I'd like to compare with my accent and your accent, and just going back to a word with the R. C-A-R. How would you pronounce that?
I would say I'm going for a drive in the car. Car.
I'm going for a drive in the car.
You can hear the difference, especially with that R sound at the end. It is quite different between the way you would pronounce it and the way I would pronounce it.
Car. Yeah.
Car.
And how about the word N-O?
I would say no. No, thank you. No.
Wow. Sounds like there's like an extra syllable in there. I would say no.
No.
But let me try your version. Is it no?
That's not bad. It's not bad. No.
No. Okay. How about P-H-O-N-E?
Phone. You sent me a message on my phone.
Yes, I did send it to you on your phone.
Phone.
Are you able to say it the way that I say it?
Can you say it again?
Phone.
I don't know. See, there are certain words I can hear a very distinct difference. And that one for me is more subtle. Phone.
Fine. So what I notice is when you finish your word, phone, I think you push your tongue forward, so it's phone, maybe.
Phone. Phone. That's so funny. I'm going to be thinking about that one for a while.
How about THOROUGH?
I would say that you have done a thorough job. A thorough job.
Well, I think you've done a thorough job.
I like the difference with that one. The first time that I heard that difference, I was speaking to someone who actually was from Germany, and they learnt very Americanized English. And so when they spoke English, they sounded like they could be American. And this person started telling me that I was pronouncing the word wrong. And I was like, well, with your accent, yes, but with my accent, I would say thorough.
Thorough. I like that.
Which is very different because yours is thorough.
Thorough.
Mm.
What about WATER?
Water. So I am taking my bottle of water everywhere I go at the moment because it's very hot over here.
And I take my bottle of water around with me as well. With a previous interview I did with Sam from English Sponge, we had that comparison because he would say bottle of water, I think.
Yeah,
bottle of water. My accent is not as cute. I will say that.
I don't know about that, Bo. But what I will say is that one's interesting because the T sound, I pronounce the T in bottle and also water. And it's interesting because sometimes if I'm rushing, actually, I will pronounce that more like a D sound, so bottle of water.
Okay, that's what I say.
Yeah, it is more similar. That's right. And it's interesting because in Aussie English, you can sort of say that there's three main different accents.
Can you tell me more?
Yes. So especially when I'm creating my videos, I'm trying to speak very clearly. And so my accent when I'm speaking clearly is definitely more of a cultivated Aussie accent, but it's also sort of a little bit of a general Aussie accent. The cultivated accent might be considered to be a bit more posh, but it's not really. It's just that I'm speaking clearly and pronouncing the sounds as well as I can. There's also a very broad Aussie accent, which is a very strong, thick accent. So someone like the Crocodile Hunter, for example, he had a very broad Aussie accent. My accent's not so broad. And so some people will say that my accent is more subtle.
If I say, good day, mate, what kind of accent in Australian would that be?
I mean, you could just say that's more of a general accent. G'day, mate. Yeah, perhaps I would say it's just more general. And the general accent just sort of sits like sort of in the middle between broad and cultivated.
Okay. What do Australians think about American accents?
You know what's really interesting, especially when I grew up, I was watching kids' TV that was predominantly American shows. I did watch a lot of American television. A couple of Canadian ones crept in there, and a couple of British shows as well. But I think for us, we're so used to hearing other accents. So it just sort of seems normal. Like we hear your accents, we hear British accents. So I feel like we are pretty good at understanding different people. So it just sort of seems like normal to me. Like if I heard you like walking down the street, or I saw you at the supermarket here, my ears might pick up and I might be like, oh, that's like either like an American, or sometimes the Canadian accent's quite similar. There are differences, but I might pick up where you're from.
In Los Angeles, there's a lot of Australians. So it is still a unique sound to me. But I'm hearing it a lot more these days.
That's really interesting. Yes, you're right. I think because it's not so hard for people to get on a flight in Sydney and go across to LA. That's quite a common flight. A lot of people, especially if they're going over to the States, will go to LA. So I think it's an easy place for Australians to live. Also, the climate of LA, I'm sure, suits Australians. And I also noticed when I spent some time in Canada, it's that West Coast that the Aussies tend to stay in. So Vancouver is another place where the Australians live, as opposed to the other parts of Canada as well.
Is that due to the proximity of Australia?
I think it is. So it's easier to get to LA or to Vancouver as opposed to other parts of either the States or Canada.
Okay. I'd love to chat about your YouTube channel and what inspired you to start your channel.
So I have been wanting to start this specific channel, Aussie English with Steph. I've been wanting to start it actually for years, and it took me a long time to actually get started. And then once I started, I was thinking, wow, I think I could really help people to learn Aussie English, but also to learn a little bit about the culture, especially for people who come to Australia. Perhaps they're coming for a short time. Maybe they want to make this their home. So I've lived in different places around the world. I want to help people to, when they come here, to learn about Aussie English, to learn about Australia. It's just a lot of fun. I love making videos. I love filming as well. We've got some beautiful beaches here in Australia. So I want to help people, but I also love being creative with making videos.
I love your videos. I wish I lived in Australia near those beautiful beaches. And your full-time job, you're a teacher, and I'd love to know, and I'm sure the subscribers here would like to know, what piece of advice do you have in excelling in English?
Oh, wow. Okay, this is interesting. So first of all, I'm a primary teacher, and you might say I'm an elementary school teacher. And I would say I'm a casual relief teacher. You might say I'm a substitute teacher. So that's what I'm doing as my day job at the moment, even though I'm on holidays at the moment, or vacation, you might say. So I've got my summer break at the moment. I think that the biggest thing is consistency. And you and I know with different projects that we want to do for ourselves, that consistency is the most important thing. And I think the same goes with language learning. If you can do 15 minutes a day, it's going to be better than if you think, oh, I'll fit in 2 hours on the weekend, because you might not get to those 2 hours. So if you can do a little bit every day, I've actually got a 30-day Aussie English challenge on my YouTube channel at the moment, which is just a little bit of fun to start the new year. But it's definitely that consistency piece that's the most important thing.
So if any of the subscribers here would like to join that 30-day challenge, how would they do that?
So there's two different ways you can do it. If you want to, you can just come to Aussie English with Steph on YouTube. You can just watch the videos every day during January. You can also do it afterwards if you don't get it all done in January. That's fine. But also on my school community, which is Aussie Vibes Tribe, you can download a PDF if you want to join. And at the moment, it's actually free to join. So, but I think that if you and I know that consistency is key. Consistency is key. That's a really good English phrase. And I think that that's my New Year's resolution, actually. And just the word consistency for me.
Yeah, for sure. Consistency is key is a very popular phrase, I think not only amongst Americans, but any native English-speaking country. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's three simple words, but it means so much. Consistency is key.
I would love all of you to go to Aussie English with Steph's YouTube channel because it's good to train your ears on the different accents, and maybe you would rather sound like an Australian than an American. I love having you on here. I'd love to have you back. And everyone, again, please check out Steph's YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description below, and we will see you next time.
Thanks so much for having me, Bo. Bye, everyone.
Bye.